the one question that reveals true emotional connection. In an era defined by swipe lefts and fleeting digital flirtations, where profiles are meticulously curated and hearts remain guarded behind screens, there exists a deceptively simple yet profoundly transformative question that can pierce the veil of ambiguity enveloping modern romance. This question brings into sharp focus what so many desperately seek but seldom find: raw, unfiltered emotional truth. When you found yourself thinking about me the last time we weren't together, what was that moment and what did it mean to you? This is not merely a novelty trick or clever dating hack. Rather, it serves as a direct invitation to access the deeply embedded recordings of genuine affection housed within the human brain. Recordings that no amount of strategic texting, perfunctory compliments, or surface-level banter can replicate. The neuroscience of emotional memory. Consider how memories form when emotion is involved. Neuroscientists have long documented that events overlaid with personal significance become wedded to sensory details. Sounds, smells, tactile sensations, fleeting visual impressions, and are stored across a network of brain regions. These regions include the hippocampus, which processes contextual information, the amygdala, which tags experiences with emotional significance, and the prefrontal cortex, which integrates these elements into a coherent narrative of experience. Together, these brain structures weave context, imagery, and feeling into a tapestry too rich to be forged by rehearsed lines or artificial declarations. When someone truly feels for you, those feelings do not float in an abstract void. They anchor themselves to the minutiae of lived experience. The subtle warmth of sunlight on your cheek as you shared a laugh in the park. The soft cadence of your voice as you listened when they confessed their deepest fear. The texture of the paper on which you scrawled a quick note before parting ways one cloudy morning. The particular shade of blue in the sky that reminded them of your eyes while walking alone. The fleeting scent of your perfume or cologne lingering on their sweater hours after you've gone. It is precisely these scattered breadcrumbs of authentic emotional investment that the single question above elicits. It bypasses the well-worn scripts that have come to dominate our courtships and taps straight into spontaneous, unguarded recollections that signal genuine caring. The art of asking, creating the perfect moment. To pose this question effectively demands more than just curiosity. It requires an intentional alignment of timing, tone, and mindset. Timing, the foundation of vulnerability. This is neither a conversation starter for a first encounter, nor a conversation ender, lobbed in frustration during a heated argument. It is best framed within a context of relative calm and privacy. Imagine the two of you together in the subdued glow of twilight, perhaps during a leisurely walk beside a quiet lake, or seated cozily on a couch in your living room after dinner, when external distractions have muted and both your ears and hearts are open to deeper dialogue. The ideal moment often emerges naturally during a comfortable silence between topics, when the conversation has flowed easily and a sense of safety pervades the interaction. In such moments, the stillness itself becomes a canvas upon which vulnerability can be painted, and the question, delivered without pretense, can land like a gentle breeze that invites candid sharing rather than a sudden gust that startles and retreats. Tone, the vessel for connection. The difference between a question that kindles trust and one that conjures defensiveness often lies in how it is asked. Frame your words with genuine warmth, soft eyes, an inviting nod, a steady but relaxed posture so that the moment feels less like an interrogation and more like a shared exploration. Preface it with a simple introduction. I've been thinking about how much I value what we have, and I'm curious about something. And then offer the question itself as an expression of sincere interest, not an accusation or challenge. Your voice should remain gentle, unhurried, creating space for reflection rather than demanding an immediate response. Remember that vulnerability begets vulnerability. By demonstrating your own willingness to hear an honest answer, whatever it may be, you signal that this exchange is about deepening understanding, not securing validation. Mindset, the compass for clarity. Steel yourself to embrace whatever answer emerges, knowing that the question's true power lies in illuminating reality, not confirming a desired fantasy. This requires a commitment to emotional honesty that begins with yourself. Acknowledge beforehand what you hope to hear, then set that hope aside to make room for truth. If her recollection bursts forth in vivid color, detailing how she remembered the scent of your jacket when you hugged goodbye, or how the echo of your laughter brightened a moment of solitude, or how a song on the radio instantly transported her to the evening you danced together in your apartment, that is a clear green light. It signifies that her heart's loom has woven you into the fabric of her inner life, creating threads of connection that stretch across time and space. Conversely, if her response drifts toward vagueness, "I just thought about you," without context, or "I wondered when I'd see you again," lacking any concrete imagery, you have received a valuable early warning. Such answers may suggest that her emotional soil is too shallow to sustain deeper growth, or that the connection hasn't yet developed the richness that comes from genuine attachment. Either way, embrace this clarity, for it frees you from chasing a mirage and redirects your time and energy toward connections that possess the depth and resonance you deserve. Beyond discovery, building the bridge of mutual vulnerability. Beyond its diagnostic function, this singular inquiry also serves as a catalyst for mutual vulnerability. After she speaks, mirror her bravery by sharing your own answer, perhaps recalling the unexpected way her voice played in your mind as you navigated a difficult work challenge. The warmth that spread through you when you stumbled upon the small gift she had tucked into your bag weeks earlier. How the particular way the light filtered through autumn leaves reminded you of the color in her eyes when she smiles. The moment you caught yourself smiling at a shared joke only the two of you would understand. How seeing her favorite flower at a market stand prompted you to imagine her reaction if you brought them to your next meeting. By reciprocating, you transform a one-way test into a two-way bridge that ushers both of you into a landscape of shared authenticity, deepening trust and fostering the kind of emotional intimacy that cannot be manufactured by staged date night routines or obligatory anniversary celebrations. The Relationship Barometer, tracking emotional resonance over time. As this practice becomes woven into your relationship rhythm, you'll notice several patterns emerge. The richness of her memories becomes a barometer for emotional investment over time. And moments when specificity wanes may signal the need for renewed efforts to create fresh experiences that resonate deeply. Consider implementing a gentle cadence to this question, perhaps once every month or two, not as a test, but as an opportunity to realign your emotional compasses. Over time, you'll build a treasury of shared moments that matter, creating an emotional timeline of your relationship's evolution. Remember when you told me you thought of me while watching that sunset in Colorado? I'll never forget how you said you heard my laugh while reading that book I recommended. It meant so much when you shared that you've thought of our conversation while making that important decision. Each recall strengthens the neural pathways associated with your connection, quite literally building a stronger bond in the biological architecture of memory and emotion. Pair this approach with complementary habits, asking genuine follow-up questions, actively listening without formulating your next response, expressing gratitude for small but meaningful gestures, and preserving personal autonomy so neither of you feels overwhelmed, and you nurture a balanced dynamic in which both partners feel seen, heard, and valued. Ethical considerations, respect and boundaries. Ethical mindfulness is paramount. This tool is not meant to manipulate or elicit contrived demonstrations of affection. It is a mirror that reflects the truth of where you stand at a given moment. Use it with respect for autonomy and the understanding that true emotional resonance cannot be forced but must arise naturally, like wildflowers in a field that receive just the right balance of sun and rain. Should her answer reveal that her mind has yet to gather concrete recollections of you in solitude, resist the impulse to fill that void with pressure or guilt. Instead, appreciate the honesty it affords, and consider whether two hearts are aligned in their capacity for vulnerability. If not, it may be kinder to both parties to part ways before further investment leads to deeper heartbreak. Reclaiming humanity in digital romance. In a cultural landscape dominated by dating apps that reduce human connection to algorithmic matches and social media that amplifies anxiety through curated highlight reels, this deceptively simple question reclaims what is most human about romance: the power of autobiographical memory, the longing to be held in someone's private thoughts, and the comfort of knowing that your presence lingers in another's mind long after you've said goodbye. Love, real love, is not measured exclusively in grand gestures or season-appropriate gifts. It is composed of countless small moments that reverberate in our inner worlds. The first time your fingers grazed hers in a silent pause, the way her smile blossomed when you offered a spontaneous compliment, the stolen glance across a crowded room that ignited a spark of recognition. By listening closely to the stories she shares in response to your question, you learn precisely which aspects of your presence resonate most deeply, whether it is your empathy in times of distress, your humor in moments of tension, or the quiet confidence you exude in comfortable silence. And this insight guides you in cultivating those qualities, ensuring that your relationship becomes not just a series of repeating patterns, but a living narrative that evolves with intention and care, sustaining connection through continuous discovery. Over weeks, months, and years, periodically revisiting the question becomes akin to tuning an instrument. It checks whether your emotional frequencies remain aligned or whether gradual drift has crept in, prompting a return to attentive dialogue and shared experiences. In doing so, you avoid the complacency that so often dulls the edges of long-term relationships, and instead maintain a dynamic of ongoing discovery, where both partners continually renew their appreciation for what makes the other unique. This practice proves especially valuable during transitional periods. After moving in together, changing careers, welcoming children, or facing loss, when the scaffolding of routine can mask subtle shifts in emotional connection. By explicitly creating space to share these private moments of remembrance, you ensure that your bond remains vibrant even as external circumstances evolve. For established couples, this question can reignite dormant passions and recall what initially drew you together. A partner of 20 years might surprise you with, "I thought of you last Tuesday when I smelled cinnamon rolls in the bakery window and suddenly remembered our first apartment and how you tried to make them from scratch for my birthday. The kitchen was a disaster, but I realized no one has ever tried so earnestly to make me happy as you did that morning." Such revelations demonstrate that even within the familiarity of long-term commitment, the capacity for discovery remains endless when we make the effort to excavate the treasures of daily thought. Conclusion: the courage to see and be seen. Ultimately, when you found yourself thinking about me the last time we weren't together, what was that moment, and what did it mean to you, transcends its role as a clever conversational tactic and emerges as an invitation to reimagine how we approach romantic connection. It shifts the emphasis from performative rituals, fluorescent surprises, and prepackaged proclamations to the authentic interplay of memory, emotion, and shared vulnerability. Embracing this approach empowers you to navigate modern dating with clarity and courage. Clarity to perceive whether the emotional foundation is solid enough to support deep intimacy, and courage to act on that perception, either by nurturing the bond that flourishes or by stepping away with dignity from a connection that never took root. In selecting where to invest your time, energy, and affection, you ensure that the love you cultivate is more than fleeting excitement. It is a reservoir of mutual care, anchored in real moments stored in both your minds, ready to be called upon in times of joy or adversity. And so, as you contemplate your next meaningful conversation, remember that the most profound question you can ask is not, "Do you love me?" nor, "Where do you see this going?" but the one that unveils the echoes of your presence in her private world. When you found yourself thinking about me the last time we weren't together, what was that moment, and what did it mean to you? Because in her answer and in your own, you will discover not only what she feels, but whether the hearts you both carry are ready to embark on a journey defined by genuine vulnerability, enduring empathy, and the extraordinary power of memories that bind two souls across the invisible landscapes of thought, feeling, and time.